Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita, Sarartha Varshini Tika by Vishwanath Chandra Thakur, and the sub commentary by Bhaktivinoda Thakur called as the Rasika Ranjan. So, yesterday we began this fifth chapter, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And why Prabhupada titles this as Karma Yoga Action in Krishna Consciousness, yesterday we discussed. The first six verses, first section we have been seeing, it is based on Arjuna's question, and it is based on the doubt what he spoke in the fourth chapter. Because Yoga Sannyasa Karmanam Jnana Sanchinna Samshaya. Be situated in yoga, but sannyas and jnana sanchin, be in situated. Atmavantam, be situated in the self. So, and then in the next verse he's saying, Yogam Atishta Uttishta Bharata, perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. First you're telling me to be situated in Gyan, nah, renounce, Yoga Sannyasa Karmanam. But Arjuna is confused. He's confused between renunciation of work and work in renunciation. So there is difference between the two. Yesterday we pointed out if you were there in the class. So we discussed this first verse, what sannyasam karmanam means. Sannyas karmanam means that, when one performs nishkama karma yoga and he becomes sthita pragya, then, the antakaran is purified and there is no more impetus from the swabhava to perform actions because one is jnana nishta. So the one is steadily situated. And at that point, he is qualified to take up to the Jnana Marg. One of the angas of Jnana Marg is that one has to take sannyas. And he can, deliberate on the Brahman. It's basically contemplation of Brahman by study of Upanishads and Vedanta. So that is the jnana, karma sannyas. That is what is karma sannyas. And punar yogam means you have spoken about performing karma yoga. Yogam atishta uttishta bharata, text 42 in the previous chapter. So, yat shreya etayor ekam, among the two, tell me what is shreya? Nishchitam. So yesterday we discussed quite a lot, if you mean, if you are aware, renunciation of work and work and renunciation, and then how, you know, uh, you might find that Arjuna is asking the same question, but it's a deeper question. It's the same question in one sense also, but the answer is deeper. It goes more deeper. And our knowledge of the subject of Bhagavad Gita, its knowledge is like spiral. The same thing we are doing, but more perfect, 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 you know. So the education, our education is spiral. So yesterday we discussed how in the third chapter when Krishna had answered, he seemed to put Karma Yoga on a lower pedestal and Jnana Yoga on a higher pedestal. And it was Adhikar. And there are no two paths, but one path leads to another. When one performs Nishkama Karma Yoga and is matured and he has attained that state, he is Jnana Nishta or Sthita Pragya, then he can take up to Jnana Yoga. So because this requires Adhikar, it requires Adhikar. And now, not only he has Jnana Yoga, which is on the higher pedestal, he had put them equal, but now he's saying Karma Yoga Vishishtate. Karma Yoga is superior to Gyan. And in this context, we discussed this concept of atrophy. How from action to inaction, which is not natural for the jiva because the soul is active by nature, is difficult. And then ultimately, in bhakti, there is actions for the pleasure of the Lord. And that is the highest. Bhavunam janmanamante jnanavan maham prapadyate. So then from inaction to action, coming back to that state from inaction to action will also be very difficult. So that's why Krishna is recommending Karma Yoga as superior to Gyan Yoga. So that's what we saw yesterday in our discussion. We saw the answer. Sannyasa karma yogasya nishreyasya karavibho tayosva karma sannyasat karma yoga vishishyate. But among the two, karma yoga is better than renunciation of karma, karma sannyas. And karma sannyas is not just abruptly you give up, no, with the purification of the heart. That's very important for us to understand. And this karma yogi is a nitya sannyasi. गेहि च नित्य सन्यासी यो न द्वेष्टि न कांक्षति निर्द्वंदो hi महाभाव sukam badnyat projiti. And this karma yogi, who's a nitya sannyasi, he happily, becomes free from bondage. Whereas a Gyan Yogi, we mentioned 12.5 in the Bhagavad Gita, Klesho Adhikarastesham Avyakta Asakta Chetasam Avyakta hi Gatir Dukkham. Here it is mentioned Sukham Badnat. So the meditation on the impersonal Brahman is difficult for those who are embodied. You know, it's difficult. And gati means the ultimate progress is not, it is troublesome. The path is troublesome. Whereas, even if somebody is, situated in Gyan, he is Sthita Pragya, he should continue to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. And there are few reasons yesterday we discussed. Who will answer the few reasons? Two reasons at least, main. Who will answer? What are the two main reasons we discussed yesterday? Even if one is Sthita Pragya, he's Jnana Nishta, he should continue to perform Nishkama Karma Yoga and not give up karma. Although he is qualified for giving up karma now at this point. What are the two reasons? Navneet Kalra Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. One reason is that if he's following Nishkam Karma Yoga, his Gyan would get very strong.
Yeah, his Gyan, he'll become more steady in Gyan. And then another reason?
Second is that in any which ways, it's very difficult to come from inaction to action.
Well, that's not what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says actually. He says that once, when you have taken sannyas and if there is impurity, then you cannot come back to karma and
Yes.
perform nishkam karma. That is, he'll be considered a vantasi.
Vantasi. Okay.
Yeah, that's what yesterday we discussed. So he'll not be accepted again in the path. In fact, he'll be rejected from the community of the practitioners. That's how strict it is. That's how strict it is. I don't want to give contemporary examples also for that, though I know, but it is not culturally nice to do that. No open forum, but that's how strict it is. So this is where we discuss. So there are these two types of sannyasi. There is a karma sannyasi who gives up action. There is a nitya sannyasi who gives up attachment and he continues to perform action. So this is where we stopped yesterday. So let's continue our discussion. सांख्ययोगो पृथक् बाला प्रवदन्ति न पंडिता एकम अप्यास्थितः सम्यक् उभयोर्विन्दते फलम्. The ignorant bala. Bala means, kids, sometimes parents call their uh, children, whether it's a male or female. In fact, female is bala, male is bala. So that means they're innocent, they're ignorant, So similarly, in the circle of practitioners in the path of spiritual life also, they can be ignorant. Pravadanti, they speak. What they speak? Of Gyan and Karma as different. Sankhya and Yoga Pratak. Now, what is Sankhya referring to here? Who will tell us? What is Sankhya referring to here? What is Sankhya referring here? Sumit Kapil Prabhuji. Yes. Yes, Sumit Kapil Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji, is it Gyan?
Yes, it is Gyan. Now, where has given Krishna given the knowledge of Sankhya? Can you tell me?
Second chapter, 2.13 to 38.
2.12 to
30,
30, not
30,
38.
30.
So basically, you have to understand now, Krishna, Eshate Ebita Sankhe, Bhagavad Gita 2.39. First time that term Sankhya had come. So there was that Sankhya which was analysis of matter and spirit.
Mm.
Analysis of matter and spirit. But here, Himit Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
here what is the meaning of Sankhya? Can you tell us?
It is, okay. It is the uh, elevation to the level of Gyan Yoga where we stop the activity.
Ah, yes, that's true. When we are elevated to the level of Gyan, are you with your Bhagavad Gita book with you in your hand?
Yes,
Ah, see, I hope how I could understand. Because you have referred to that and answered. Yes,
yes, yes, Prabhuji.
I could understand that. Don't worry, I'm also sitting with my Bhagavad Gita and referring. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. So, yes, that's true also, but at a deeper level, you know, once one takes up to Gyan Yoga, when one takes up to Gyan Yoga, basically, in the beginning, there is Sankhya. Sankhya is, deliberation or contemplation on, the 24 elements or whatever it is, Sankhya Darshan, So they are always contemplating, they are fixed in that. That is their sadhana. This is their sadhana. Like we have in Bhakti sadhana, chanting the holy names, reading Bhagavad Gita,
Mm.
Bhagavatam. So this is their sadhana. So here it refers to that. Hmm. So once they take karma sannyas, yes, it is true that renunciation of the work, that is karma sannyas, but at a deeper level, so they are Sankhites. Now please remember that Sankhya is the common denominator for Karma Yoga path, Jnana Yoga path, and Bhakti Yoga. You know. So what happens in that's why Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 2.12 to 2.30 gave this, and then he starts speaking of elevation, how to realize now the self. It begins with Sakam Karma Yoga,
Mm.
2.31 to 38, and then Nishkama Karma Yoga. Of course, 2.39 is most important verse because 2.39 will refer to both all three paths. Bhakti Yoga, because Buddhi Yoga can refer to Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and uh, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means here Nishkam Karma Yoga. You remember that? So, so how to realize that you're the self? It begins with Nishkam Karma Yoga here. Nishkam Karma Yoga, and there is Sthita Pragya, which is 2.53. This is 2.47 onwards. So Sankhya is the common denominator. You know, in Gyan, this becomes the main emphasis, main sadhana. And in Bhakti Marg also, yes, it's not that, we don't, deliberate on, we are studying the Bhagavad Gita. It is there in the second chapter. So the more deeper and the more understanding foundation of this understanding that we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, when we critically study it, understand this, the more solidly we'll be situated in, Bhakti Yoga also. Prabhupada, if you see his Bhagavad Gita lectures in New York, anyone who has heard the initial lectures, Prabhupada is hammering first chapter, you're not this body, you're spirit, soul, you're not this body, you're spirit, soul. But then how to realize? Start taking up to the practice of Bhakti Yoga. So by practicing Bhakti Yoga, automatically you will realize the self, super self, as well as Bhagwan. There is no separate, you know, uh, path to be followed, like Karma Yoga, then Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then come to Gyan Yoga, and then from Gyan Yoga, take Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and realize the super self, and then come to Bhakti Yoga. So directly by Bhakti Yoga, you realize Bhagwan, thereby you realize Brahman and Paramatma. So Sankhya is the common denominator. So, but here Sankhya, it refers to specifically, contemplation on Atma by studying Vedanta and Vedanta Sutras and all. And Yoga here refers to what? Sumit Prabhu. Yoga it is.
It
Why
is
it has become yoga is because it is Dvivachan. Yeah.
Nishkam Karmi Yoga.
Nishkam Karma Yoga. I think now I'm quite happy with all the devotees. Now they are really getting into it. Not the wise. Na Pandita. This Bala, they think they are what? Different. Pratak. But not the wise. Wise don't think like that. Performing one of these completely. Ekam Apya Asita Samyak. One attains the result of both. Ubayor Vindate Phalam. So that is why in the third chapter we saw. Now, again, from the Bhakti context, we are not going to see this. When we study Prabhupada's commentary, that time we can definitely go into detail. And there is parallels between Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. We have seen that because the element of devotion more is there in Bhakti Yoga. What I wanted to say is that we saw in the third chapter that Jnana, there is inactivity, leads to liberation. There is Nishkam Karma Yoga, where there is activity, that also leads to liberation. So that is what Krishna is saying now. Ubayor Vindate Phalam. One attains the results of both. So Prabhupada, in his purport, he mentions, finding the root of this material existence, the 24 elements we study, find the root. After finding the root, what do? You have to water the root. Bhakti is watering the root. So both lead to the same. That's a point Prabhupada makes in his purport. Okay, now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving his commentary that Arjuna's question, he is saying, your statement, Krishna is saying now, your statement about which is better of the two does not actually apply because intelligent people do not see any difference between the two. The word Sankhya refers to being fixed in Gyan. An Anga, component of that practice is sannyas. So, when you take up to the path of Gyan, you have to take up sannyas. You cannot practice as a vanaprastha or a grahastha. The fools, not the wise, speak the difference between sannyas and karma yoga. Sannyas means karma sannyas. When you're qualified, when you're jnana nishta, please remember that. As the previous verse mentioned, one should know that the karma yogi to be a nitya sannyasi, a real sannyasi. So karma yogi is also a nitya sannyasi. No? Thus, performing one of the two gives the result of both. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I have spoken about the concept of sannyas and karma yoga. Again, sannyas is karma sannyas. Please listen. Ignorant of the foolish followers of Mimamsa philosophy have said that Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga are different, whereas learned persons disagree. So, who are these Pratak Bala? Bhaktivinoda Thakur points out it is the Mimamsakas. The Jamini, followers of Jamini, the Karma Mimamsakas. By following either path properly, one achieves the result of both. Okay, text 5. Yat Sankhe prapyate sthanam tad yogerapi gamyate ekam sankyam cha yogam cha yah pashyati sapashyati. The goal achieved by jnana, yat sankhe prapyate sthanam, is the goal achieved by karma yoga. Tad yogerapi gamyate, because both, Goal is liberation. So what is achieved by jnana is achieved by also karma yoga. He who sees, ya pashati, jnana yoga and karma yoga as one. Ekam sankyam cha yogam cha actually sees. Sa pashati. So this is very interesting, huh? Sa pashati. Now seeing means seeing with eyes of knowledge, which is called as bodha or buddhi. Oh, I see. When you say na, oh, I understand, आपके बुद्धि में. So this is real, यह पश्यति, one who can see like this, that both lead to the same goal. Both are equal, what can achieve by one can be also achieved by the other. But among the two, which is Krishna recommending? He is recommending Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is Vishishyate. Why Krishna is recommending? There's a deeper reason, because ultimately he's going to introduce Bhakti in the middle 6 chapters, where there is action out of love done for the Supreme Lord. This verse clarifies the issue. What is achieved by sannyas, Sankhya, is achieved by Nishkama Karma, Yoge. The plural, singular would be Sankhya Karmana, is used to show the respect for the processes. For the why, the Sankhya and Yoga, this is again from the grammar point of view, which you need not worry about it. Even I don't understand. It is because of respect for the processes like that. That's why it is addressed as Sankhya and Yoga. He who sees that the two which appear different are actually by intelligence, are actually one by intelligence, actually sees. So I mentioned, using buddhi. When one sees, oh, I see, oh, I understand. When you say, that is seeing, not physically seeing with the eyes. Seeing means insight, intellectual insight. So that is called as, seeing here, sapashati, seeing with intelligence. He is a wise man with vision. So this is a very profound statement, So what is knowledge? Knowledge means vision. Somebody can be a, village person who is an agriculturist and he is not even educated, but by chanting Hare Krishna, he has developed prema for the Lord and he is able to see every living being as part and parcel of the Lord. He has actually developed vision. So he has actually developed knowledge. And all so-called others who have so-called knowledge, they are all, it's all avidya. This is real vidya. So knowledge means vision. And it will come up further, Vidya Vinay Sampanya. That time we will discuss more. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Therefore, these two paths are one. There is only difference in name. He who understands that Sangha Yoga and Karma Yoga to be one knows the actual truth. Okay, now he had already made the point, Krishna had made the point that Karma Yoga Vishishyate. So now he emphasizes why Karma Yoga is better and Sankhya in the form of Karma Sannyas is not good. What is the reason? Here is explaining, and 12.5 also it comes up. Sannyasasthu mahabhavo dukkhamaptum ayogata yogayukto munir brahma na achirena adhigacchati. Renunciation is difficult to attain. Sannyasasthu dukkhamaptum kleshu adhikarastesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyaktam hi gatir dukkham. There also in 12.5 it has come. Avyakta gatir dukkham. Without karma yoga, ayogata. Renunciation is difficult without karma yoga. The jnani engaged in karma yoga, yoga yukta muni, quickly attains Brahman. Brahman na chirena adhigachati. Sannyas gives suffering for a jnani who cannot fix complete purity in his heart. It will give suffering. Karma yoga, however, gives pleasure. The intended meaning of what was spoken earlier is made clear. So it was spoken earlier. Karma Yoga Vishishyate, no? So now it is made clear in this verse. Because of not performing Karma Yoga, which can pacify the disturbance of the heart, sannyas may give rise to suffering if it is accepted without proper qualification. So I mentioned the other day also that even if while being a grahastha performing Nishkam Karma Yoga and at a good number of years he is now self-realized, he should not take sannyas. He should wait for the vanaprastha and continue to perform Nishkam Karma Yoga because that will make his Gyan steady. And when the right time comes, when he gets the adhikar to take that age, sannyas, that time he takes sannyas, then there is no problem. It requires proper qualification and there might be suffering because if there is some impurity, anartha, which comes up later on, it can cause havoc. Thus it is said by the writers of the Vartika. Vartika means, commentary. One sees sannyasis who are absorbed in sense gratification, pramadoni bahishchitta, with evil minds, pishuna kalahotsuka, fond of arguing, you know, who are contaminated shelters of spiritual life. So if you see a sannyasi is absorbed in sense gratification, how do you feel? Why is absorbed in sense gratification? What is the reason? Anyone can tell? Why is he absorbed in sense gratification? Sannyasi. Navneet Kalra Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, because the purification of the heart has not happened.
Because of the purification. And of course, we have to, not just go by the external vision, whether, that sannyasi is having just to please other devotees or whether there is an internal drive, which is, I want actually gobi Manchurian, hot with sauce, So like that, So whether there is absorbed, so one sees sannyasis who are absorbed in sensitivity with evil minds, fond of arguing, if they are fond of arguing, who are contaminated shelters of spiritual life. So this is quoted in the Sridhar Swami's commentary. Vartika means commentary. The personified Vedas also says this. Members of the renounced order who fail to uproot the last traces of material desires in their heart remain impure, and thus you do not allow them to understand you. So these are the personified Vedas. Hridi kama jata. Yadi na samuddartente yatato. Yatato means wonder. Yati is a sannyasi. Bhagavatam also says, this was quoted before also, one who has not controlled the six forms of illusion, lust, anger, greed, excitement, false pride, intoxication, whose intelligence, the leader of the senses, is extremely attached to material things, who is bereft of knowledge and detachment, who adopts the sannyas out of life to make a living, who denies the worshipable demigods, his own self and the Supreme Lord within himself, thus ruining all religious principles, and who is still infected by material contamination, is deviated and lost both in this life and in the next. So this is a quote from the Uddhav Gita also. Therefore, the Jnani, Muni, engaging in Nishkam Karma Yoga, Yoga Yukta, quickly attains Brahman. Achirena, he will quickly attain. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He achieves Brahman very easily. Okay. So that completes now the first section. So the next section is very interesting, and you have to understand this flow is not, very clear for especially many devotees. Now, how does, the most important is for Arjuna to take up to Nishkam Karma Yoga so that he has this fear that I'll be bound. Now, Krishna, right from the third chapter, has been instructing. In the fourth chapter, he brought out that karma, how, when everything is offered to Brahman, you'll attain Brahman only, there is no question of reactions, right? And how Gyan Agni Dagda Karmani, all that, Now, how a Nishkama Karma Yogi, now a deeper understanding, how he is not bound. How is he not bound? Although he's doing actions, how is he not bound? By fixing mind on Atma. The Karma Yogi remains free from bondage. So by Atma Gyan, one can be free from bondage, but one cannot become liberated. To become liberated, one has to fix his mind on the Paramatma, on the Paramatma. So from Atma, it will go to Paramatma here in the next section, 17 to 29. You know, so only by fixing on the Paramatma. Now again, there are these two divisions as I mentioned here. One is, for your kind information, even in the Jnana Sadhana path, there is meditation on the Paramatma. It's more of intellectual deliberation, which the Jnanis do. And here it is more of through austerities and trying to go inwards through the Ashtanga process, where there is meditation on the Paramatma. So only by meditation on the Paramatma, they attain liberation. Whereas being situated in the self, one is not bound. He is not bound, but he cannot get liberated from this material world. So the next section will be, entire section will be, how by fixing on Paramatma, Karma Yoga attains liberation. Within this, two verses will give a just a glimpse of, the Ashtanga Yoga, which is going to come in the sixth chapter. And the last verse, 29th verse, will give a glimpse of Bhakti Yoga, which is be elaborated in chapter 7 to 12. So now, regarding this first section, up till now, what we have discussed, if you have any questions, clarifications, we can take up now. Any questions, any clarifications up till now? Any questions? Okay, Sunit Kapoor, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Just a second. Give me a second. Just a second. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
If I recall, we talked about that karma yoga and gyan yoga both lead to liberation. So
Yes.
this liberation, I just wanted to clarify, this liberation is merging with the Brahman, right?
Yes. This is impersonal liberation.
Impersonal liberation, okay.
Mm.
And then from Nishkam Karma to it leads to Gyan, and then we get qualified for doing Bhakti Yoga, and then
No,
we
no, 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 no. Where it is said like that? Where it is
like
said like
2 point, like from we do the Sakam Karma Yoga, and then we go to Nishkam Karma Yoga in the pure state. Then it is the Gyan Yoga state, and
that?
then we get qualified for Bhakti Yoga.
No, how you get qualified for Bhakti Yoga? From Gyan?
In the second chapter, if I recall,
No, no, that understanding is, you have to first get a clear understanding. Bhakti is only attained by the
uh,
mercy of the pure devotees. There is
mm,
no other cause of bhakti.
okay.
You can be at the level of Sakam Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga, Ashtang Yoga, or you might be Kirata, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda.
Mm,
It's only got by the mercy of the pure devotee. It's not that Gyan Yoga will ultimately automatically lead to Bhakti Yoga. That is not the understanding. Bhakti can be only attained by the mercy of the pure devotees. There's no other way you can attain Bhakti. This was made very clear in 240 and I'm bringing it so that we all have a clear understanding. 240 when we read,
mm,
Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, Neha Bikram Nashosti. There are two types of yoga explained in this section of the chapter: activities of bhakti, including hearing and chanting, and other activities that are prescribed duties offered Nishkam Karma Yoga, which is expressed in 2.47. This requires adhikar. You have to be in the
mm.
varnashram. For bhakti, what is adhikar? No adhikar. Causeless mercy of the devotee. Before that, however, bhakti is discussed. Because bhakti alone and no other process is beyond the three modes, a person transcends only by performing bhakti. Thus, the statement Nistragana Bhavarjuna to Arjuna indicates that this section is about bhakti. And then he speaks about this bhakti. So in 2.47, Krishna makes it again clear. Of course, Vishwanath Thakur makes it very clear when he, you know, we elaborately discuss this. And this repeated confusion will keep on coming for years together. And I'll hint you about it. So here Prabhupada, Vishwanath Thakur says. Why I did not go there? I have to go there and then uh, 40, but 47. Yeah, yeah. So here the Lord wanted to speak of the process of Gyan, Bhakti, and Karma Yoga to Arjuna, who is his dear friend. So Gyan he spoke in 2.12 to 13, Bhakti from 2.40 to 45, Karma Yoga now he'll start speaking from 47. See, I have made this having spoken of Gyan 12 to 30, Bhakti 2.40 to 45. The Lord then considered that the two were not suitable for Arjuna. Gyan and Bhakti are not suitable. Thus he now speaks Nishkam Karma Yoga. You are qualified for works, but those who crave for the results are impure in consciousness. But you are almost pure at heart. I can say this about you since I know you. So ultimately, you need mercy of pure devotees. That I think is in 2.45, I think. 2.45 purport it is there. Or I think 3.2. Let me show it so that you are very, very clear. Uh, okay, let's see the third chapter. Chapter 3. Yeah. Ah. Oh, my friend Arjuna, it is true that bhakti beyond the modes is supreme. But since that is obtained only by the mercy of my great pure devotees in an unexpected manner, it is not attained by the efforts of the individual. Please mark this. Therefore, I have given a blessing to you. Be transcendental to the ground. Nistraigunya. Be transcendental. With this blessing mature, you will attain bhakti by such unexpected mercy of God. As it is fitting to the person directing you to engage activity is also valid. Karmaneva adhikar says. That's why right now you have adhikar for this, but when you get the mercy of the pure devotees, you'll attain bhakti.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So I hope you got this point. No, this is
Yes,
actually
yes,
very,
this
very
clear,
clear.
clear. Yes, Prabhuji, clear.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions anyone else has? Vinita Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, this connection of shlokas and the message and the understanding, it's very difficult to get. So is there any way that we can be, it becomes easier for us, like how you
It
go
is
fast
it,
to,
it, it is not very difficult, it is very simple. Just like kids. Every day they open their book and do their homework. So similarly, every day if you start reading the Gita, Krishna will all reveal the connections of where is what and what is what connected. Everything will start unraveling over a period of time. It is simple and
Prabhuji,
don't.
can you help us with a summary of all the important shlokas and the message?
I am
So
going
that,
through each and every verse. Why you are speaking about summary of each of the,
no,
everything?
means after the six chapters are over, that we get an idea that this shloka is related to this, like
Okay, if you
the
want, we can do a
important
chapter
ones.
summary of each of the, but I also that will take time. But okay, let us see that. I will, when I start the middle six chapters, then we'll do the chapter summaries. Okay, let me think about it. And
Yeah,
yeah, it
the
is
important
important.
shlokas which give us the
Not important
exact.
shlokas, all the shlokas summary.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Not only important shlokas. Yes, we'll spend some time in summarizing all the chapters and then begin the middle six chapters. Okay, fine.
Thank you,
So it
Prabhuji.
is very simple. What you have to do, Mataji?
Practice daily, read daily, understand daily.
Daily take a first chapter,
Yes.
recite the verses. It takes 10-15 minutes and then read first five verses, Prabhupada purports, very scrutinizingly. And then next day read the next five purports. Next day recite the entire chapter. Next day read the next five. So 46 verses are there. So 9 times you have recited the verses and you have read the entire chapter. So
Hmm.
within 9 days you have finished first chapter. Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And how much time it will take? Not even 20 minutes. And
Prabhuji,
20,
for you it is less. For me, it takes long.
okay. So
Yeah.
doesn't matter. So
Yeah,
it
but it's
will take,
becoming better compared
uh,
to before. Like this course is helping
so
definitely.
as you know, somebody is, very slow in eating, we should eat at a moderate speed, 25 to 30 minutes peacefully you should take. Actually, Ayurveda says that one should take his meal for 45 minutes.
Mhm.
45
Yes,
minutes.
Prabhuji.
Prabhupada used to take his meal from 1 o'clock to 1:45. No distraction. He used to sit in the corner and just absorb himself in, relation Krishna Prasad. No
Yes,
talking, nothing. So 45 minutes, the founder Acharya had time to have his meal. So take 45 minutes then to go through this. Okay.
yes, yes.
Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dhanutram. Prabhuji, Arjuna was already on the path of Bhakti Yoga, right? And when Krishna is telling him to follow the
No,
Nishkam
please
Karma Yoga.
understand the whole thing is a pastime. It's a Leela of the Lord. He's put in Yogamaya. Arjuna is in the Leela a Kshatriya. Okay.
Mm,
And Krishna is gradually, what Krishna is doing in the Bhagavad Gita is he is giving all these paths, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and ultimately proving that Bhakti Yoga is superior.
mm.
How Bhakti Yoga is
Yeah.
superior. So ultimately, I'll put a question to you. Please hear this question carefully. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. That was his, he's now doing his Dharma Yuddha now. But now he's in bewildered. He's bewildered. So after
Mm.
hearing the Bhagavad Gita, did Arjuna perform his Kshatriya Dharma of fighting the war? Yes or no? And you have to give the
Yes,
answer.
yes.
No, think for 5 minutes and tell me. It's not a simple question.
He followed the instructions of Krishna.
Did he
Uh,
perform this battle fighting after hearing the Bhagavad Gita? Did he perform his Kshatriya Dharma?
Nishkam Karma Yoga.
He did Nishkam Karma Yoga. Are you sure?
Then Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga. So once you're saying Bhakti Yoga, you have to give one answer. Ekam Nishchitam.
Yeah, because Krishna proved right that Bhakti Yoga is superior to Karma Yoga and
So
Jnana Yoga.
what did he perform? Did he perform Nishkam Karma Yoga based on his nature as a Kshatriya and fought the war, or did he perform Bhakti Yoga? Tell me.
Uh, he performed Bhakti Yoga, but he followed Nishkam Karma Yoga also, right?
Or how is it possible? What is the ultimate conclusion of the Gita? Which is a verse?
Manmana Bhava Mat
No,
Bhakta.
no, 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 not that. Before that. After that. Sarva Dharman Parityajya.
Sarvadharman Parityaj. Okay.
Sarva
He
Dharman
surrendered
Parityajya.
to, yeah, he
Sarva Dharman
surrendered to Krishna.
and
He
Sarva
surrendered to
Dharman.
Lord. Uh,
No, Sarva Dharman Parityajya means what?
uh,
Give up all other dharmas.
yes,
Give up Varnashram Dharma also.
right. Yeah.
So Arjuna did not perform his Kshatriya dharma. Arjuna performed his Jaiva dharma.
Okay.
Because it is Krishna's desire that, Krishna wants me to fight this war, I'm fighting. If Krishna has some other desire, I'll do that. So that is bhakti, you know. That is bhakti, na?
Yeah.
So if you come to a conclusion that Arjuna, after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, performed a Kshatriya dharma, that means we have not understood the Bhagavad Gita. So like that, we have to have a clear, deeper understanding of the Gita. Okay? It'll come up. It'll come up in the 18th chapter slowly. We are now in the 5th chapter. So within another 2-3 months, or at least 4 months from now, we'll come to that. We'll finish this all 18 chapters. Okay. Okay.
Prabhuji, yeah. But to follow this, right, we should perform Nishkam Karma Yoga, right? Though we are on the path
No,
of
no,
Bhakti Yoga, so both
no,
should
no,
go
no,
in
no, no,
parallel.
no. You have to have a clear understanding. In Kali Yuga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga are completely futile. It cannot be performed. Nobody is born in the Varnashram culture from a Brahmana father and a Brahmini mother, and he's having those samskars, and he's right from childhood, he's trained like that, and he's performing his Varnashram duties. Nobody is there. Basically, we have to directly take up to the path of bhakti only, and that's why Prabhupada's, is I'll just share with you so that you can have a clear understanding. We are directly practicing bhakti, but we have still the conditioning, and we are using that conditioning in Krishna's service. So the bhakti also what we are practicing is not Shuddha, pure, because as long as the conditioning is there. So I'm just sharing this, when the Lord answers 5.2, Sannyasa Karma Yogasya Nishreyasya Karavibho Tayastu Karma Sannyasat Karma Yoga Vishishate, I explained in detail how Karma Yoga is superior to Karma Sannyas. Not only one above the ladder, it was there, he makes it equal and puts Karma Yoga on a superior pedestal. Now, this whole understanding, Prabhupada doesn't go into the purport of this understanding. He goes, into sense gratification. As long as you're in sense gratification, you cannot understand all these subtleties. Prabhupada goes to the root of the problem. And he quotes, Srimad Bhagavatam Rishabdev, Nunam Pramatta Vikarma. He quotes that. Then he starts explaining here. Therefore, Gyan or knowledge that one is not in this material body is not sufficient for liberation. One has to act in the status of the spiritual. Otherwise, there is no escape for material bondage. Action in Krishna consciousness, not our action on the fruity platform. So, see, you can understand here, we are doing action in Krishna consciousness. And I mentioned the other day, there is Bhakti Yoga at the level of what? I said? Bhakti Yoga at the level of what? I told?
I don't remember.
Karma Yoga. Because we are engaging our senses in Krishna's service and we are trying to purify the senses. So there is Bhakti Yoga at the level of Karma Yoga. So Prabhupada is directly explaining now Bhakti Yoga at the level of Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
So activities performed in full knowledge strengthen one's advancement in real knowledge. And without, here actually if you see, it is, if you don't perform Nishkam Karma Yoga and just renounce, then you'll not purify that. So Prabhupada is directly saying, by Bhakti Yoga, Mishra Bhakti, you make the heart pure. When the heart becomes pure, means, Antakaran, the pure senses are purified, then Shuddha Bhakti will begin. As long as the heart is not purified, one has to work on the fruity platform. Therefore, action is on. Krishna Karma Yoga Vishishyate. Prabhupada is directly speaking about Bhakti Yoga at the level of Karma Yoga here.
Okay.
So Prabhupada purports to understand are not easy. In fact, it's not easy. If you read this purport now, you will not be able to follow what really is happening, So you see, Karma Yoga Prabhupada is taking here what? Work in devotion. Whereas what is all the Acharyas and Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, what they are saying? Nishkama Karma Yoga. Then we might think, why Prabhupada is giving this explanation? Because in the beginning of our Krishna consciousness, we cannot differentiate all these different paths and evaluate that what is highest. That's why Prabhupada is directly giving us the highest. Bhakti Yoga is the highest. Just take up Bhakti Yoga, practice, start. Then you will all understand all these differences. So here, you see, you know, Karma Yoga
Yeah.
is, Nishkam Karma Yoga. Correct?
Mm. Mm.
Nishkam Karma Yoga. But Prabhupada is saying work in devotion. So Prabhupada is there speaking about action in Krishna consciousness. That's in one sense, it is Bhakti Yoga at the level of Karma Yoga.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions anyone else has? Any other clarifications? Okay, so we will begin now the next section. Just few verses we'll take up. That knowledge of the three doers, we will do it tomorrow so that fresh we can understand. It is also not so easy to understand. Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriya Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvanapi na lipyate. How is not bound? Because that's Arjuna's concern, na? So because he's Yoga Yukta. Yoga Yukta here is referring to again Nishkam Karma Yoga. He is Vishuddhatma, he is Vijitatma, and he is Jitendriya. One who is engaged in Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means you have to understand Nishkam Karma Yoga. Having controlled his intelligence. Vishuddhatma means Atma here refers to intelligence. Mind, Vijitatma. Here Atma is mind. And Jit Atma also they could have written because senses are also called as Atma, but here they have used Jitendriya because again, the number of words should be, based on the meter and all. That's how, the composition in Sanskrit are. Though he's engaged in work, Kurvanapi is not contaminated, na lipete, and is object of love for all living entities. Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma. First of all, you know, he is engaged in work, he is not bound, and is object of love because he is Yoga Yukta and is Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma, and Jitendriya. The Jnani by performing karma is not contaminated. That is stated in this verse. The Jnani is engaged in karma yoga are of three types. Those who have controlled their intelligence, Vishuddhatma, those who have controlled their minds, Vijitatma, and those who have controlled their senses, Jitendriya. The order of superiority is from last to first. Having controlled intelligence is the best. That is Vishuddhatma. All jivas are attracted to such a grahastha. So you see, this Nishkam Karma Yoga is practiced in the grahastha ashram. His body, Atma, becomes the object of love, Atma Bhuta, for all living entities, Sarva Bhuta. Bhaktivinoda Thakur further gives clarification and gives terminologies to that. The Jnani endowed with yoga is of three types. Vishuddha Buddhi, one who has purified intelligence. Vishuddha Chitta, one who has purified consciousness. So purified consciousness here means the mind. Huh? Yeah, and Jitendriya is one who has control of the senses. One is progressively superior than the other. Vishuddha Buddhi being the topmost. Same thing, what Vishnu Chakra said. All the three types of Gyanis, by becoming attached to bhajan, remain unaffected despite performing all sorts of activities. Kurvanapi na lipyate. Okay, we'll take this last verse. This is a very, very, very interesting verse. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyate tattvavid pashyan shunvan sparshan jigran ashran gachan swapan shwashan prajalpan vishajan granan unnimishan nimishan napi indriyani indriyarteshu vartante iti dharayan. A person engaged in karma yoga, yukta, having knowledge, tattvavit, understanding that the senses alone are interacting with the sense objects. Indriyani indriyarteshu vartate iti dharayan. You know, he has this understanding. It is only the senses which are interacting with sense objects. I am Atma, I have nothing to do with it. While seeing, while he's seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, pashan, shunvan, sparshan, jigran, ashan. Note, these are the actions of the Gyanendriya. Going, sleeping, breathing, gachan, swapan, shwashan. Gachan means going, swapan means sleeping, shwashan means breathing. Speaking, excreting through genitals and anus. These are the karmendriyas. Receiving, pralapan, visarjan, granan. Note these are actions of the karmendriya except for sleeping and breathing, which are the activities of the pranas. Opening and closing the eyes are the representative of the five secondary pranas. This is Ramanuja's opinion. Madhusudan Saraswati says sleeping is a function of the mind. These are all in the footnote. Please remember. Okay, maybe I should put it in a different color so that otherwise you'll get confused. Yeah. And then make this opening and closing of the eyes. Unnimishan nimishanapi. Things. I am doing nothing at all. Naiva kinchit karomiti. So that's why, because he's not doing anything, he's not entangled. Now, where have you come across this term tattvavit? Who will answer? Tattvavit. Yes, Sri Lalita Sumki Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, when you were talking about that Guna Karma Vibhaga Yoga,
Not Guna
right?
Karma Vibhaga Yoga, it
Oh,
is
no, not
Guna
Guna.
Karma
What is that?
Vibhagayo.
Vibhaga Yoga. Huh.
Division, not a yoga, Which verse
Yeah.
is that?
That time you were telling that Tattva with one. Yeah,
No,
and
no,
this
no,
is
no.
this word, whatever you told is similar. I'm not able to
First,
recall the word.
please try to correct yourself first time. It's not I, what the Acharya is speaking, I'm just
Yeah,
repeating.
Acharya's told
What
and you were
Vishwanath Chakra
repeating.
Thakur is telling you should say.
Okay.
Yeah. So, which is that verse, Tattvavit?
3 point. No.
3 point. Okay, we'll help you with one figure. तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणः कर्म विभागयो गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्ते इति मत्वा न सज्जते 3.28 तत्त्ववित्तु महाभावो guna karma vibhagayo. Now I hope you have thoroughly understood what is guna karma vibhagayo. Yes. Guna guneshu vartante. What? How does he divide the guna karma vibhaj? How does he does a division? Mataji, you have to answer.
Mahaprabhu?
How does he does the division of the gunas and the karmas, actions of the gunas?
Uh,
How many gunas are there?
3 gunas.
Which are the three gunas?
Sattva, Rajas, and Tamasic.
Okay. Now, and the actions. Karma means
Yeah, you
actions,
told
right?
that they know. Yeah, you told that in Sattva, the demigods, they shower, and
Guna
then
guneshu. Now, guna guneshu means what? Guna guneshu means what? See, guna means the senses,
uh,
and guna ishu means this
self
sense objects,
gratification.
sense
Yeah.
objection. Okay. So senses are in which gunas?
You said no, the Acharya said passion, right, Prabhu?
Uh,
Sense
that's
object.
yeah, all
Sense.
acharyas, including Prabhupada. Okay.
Yeah.
And guna ishu, the sense objects are in the mode of which?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. And then
Demigods are in the
that's
mode
the
of
sense devatas.
and
Their
goodness.
actions are in the
Sattva guna.
see, Karm Prabhupada works under the influence, material influence, vibhaga, differences, divisions. See, if you read the word to word purport now, Prabhupada purports, you'll start getting this deeper understanding. So, actually the senses are interacting with sense objects. Iti matva, and it is not entangled. So the same verse, what was spoken here in 3.28 is more expanded here now. Naiva kinchit karomiti. He doesn't do anything, because he thinks, what? All these, now what are the, senses, Ah, all these are acting, Pashyan, Shunvan, Sparshan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Sapan, Shwashan, Pralapan, Vishujjan, Ganan, Unnishan, Nimishan, the Indriya and the Indriya Arteshu. So what is Indriya here, Sri Lalita?
Senses,
And Indriya Arteshu means?
sense objects.
Ah. So the senses are interacting with sense objects. Vartate iti dharin. Iti matva na sajjate. So same verse is spoken in a deeper sense. Now, this level of realization is actually self-realization. You're on the level of self-realization. That means you realize you're the soul, and I have nothing to do with the action of the
Yeah.
body, with the interaction with the modes. Body means senses, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes, Prabhu.
this, you can, this is for the Gyan Yogi, one who's situated in Gyan. But again, coming to that three divisions which we did, Bhakti Yoga at the level of Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Yoga at the level of Gyan Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga at the level of Karma Yoga.
Karma.
So when you come to this level,
Mm.
then you can realize this verse. So I'll ask you a question.
Yes, Prabhu.
Do you have a car, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Now, when you go uh, to the car station to fill in the petrol,
Yes, Prabhu.
you're sitting in the car. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Suppose the car has a 40-liter capacity and you tell to fill it 30 liters, and
Okay.
the gas station starts filling.
Yeah.
Does it make any difference to you?
No, as long as it
Actually,
is filled, it doesn't. Yeah.
absolutely it doesn't make any difference to you. No, you are different from the
Mm.
car, right?
Yes, yes.
You
Yeah.
are a living person and the car is, the body, right?
Yeah.
But when you put in prasad in the mouth and start filling the stomach,
Yeah.
do you have
It
the
makes
same
a difference.
experience in the gas station when the gas is filled, when the petrol is filled? Same experience you feel? You
No, no,
absolutely
we feel bloated if we eat too much. Yeah.
no, 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 no. I'm
Oh,
not speaking about that now.
okay.
Do you get caught up in the prasad and overeat and relish the prasad, or you're completely detached? And you just actually the hand is going and it is going on the tongue, and the interaction is happening. I have nothing to do with and the stomach is getting filled. You're not feeling anything. You're completely
Uh-huh.
detached from this all activity. Do you feel like that?
It depends on the prasad, Prabhu. If it is nice, then I will relish. Otherwise, I'm
Yeah,
detached.
that means we get caught up in the guneshu,
Yeah.
indriyandra indriya arteshu.
Yeah.
But a person who is on this level, he is, here it is mentioned, total emotional uninvolvement
Okay.
with all these activities of the five Gyanindriyas, the Karmendriyas. The Karmendriyas
Okay.
except Swapan, Shwashan and Pranas, which are mentioned. And the last two are secondary pranas, which Ramanujacharya says, which is already mentioned here, This is Ramanujacharya's opinion, Ah, So, so this is a very exalted level that, I have to just fill some fuel for my body to function so that I can be active in the service. And sometimes, when prasad comes, we, rejoice on it and spend more time eating. And, when it is getting filled in the stomach, the stomach is asking, oh, it's so good. Give me more, give me more. Then the interaction, the tongue wants it more. The stomach is telling, Array, it's already full, but the tongue demands more, and there is a battle, internal battle happening between the tongue and the stomach, and we are caught up. But a person who is self-realized, he is, indriyani indriyarteshu vartate iti dharen. And he's not doing anything. He's not doing the activity of eating. So that is a very elevated level of consciousness. It's a level of self-realization. So this is that verse which is being spoken here. Okay, the Lord teaches the method by which one is not contaminated by actions. That's why that story we have heard, that the gopis went and you know they wanted to cross the Yamuna because Durvas Muni was there and they got all their wonderful preparations made, and then Krishna interjected and, was troubling, and he said, "No, you tell that Krishna is a brahmachari. Oh, you are a brahmachari," the gopis were taunting him. But anyway, they accepted, and then the Yamuna gave way. And then they crossed the other side, and all these wonderful preparations, they fed Durvas Muni. Yeah. And then now they were wondering, of course, Krishna, blessed and we crossed because so now how to cross back? So here Munivar, tell us the way how we have to now cross back the Yamuna. You tell that Durvas Muni did not eat anything. Arey, how can we say that? You ate all these wonderful preparations. But this is that level, Naiva Kinchit Karamiti. So we have to understand. The Lord teaches the method by which one is not contaminated by actions. Although the Karma Yogi is engaged in seeing and other actions, by verifying with his intelligence that the senses alone are engaged in the sense objects, he thinks, I am not doing at all. I am doing nothing at all. I means here the Atma. I am Atma. I'm not doing this. I have nothing to do this. Otherwise, the senses, when we are not self-realized, the senses get caught up in the sense objects. And we, Bhakti Thakur, a karma yogi situated in knowledge understand that he is not the doer when he is seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, sleeping, breathing. At the time of talking, accepting or rejecting something, opening or closing of the eyes, he thinks this material body in which I am situated is performing all these actions. However, I am not doing anything. So, Sri Lalita Sumukhi Mataji, we'll go back to that example.
Yes.
When the car petrol is being filled, you don't feel anything, right?
Yes. Yes.
But when the prasad is being filled in the tank of the stomach, do we feel like that?
No, but can you come again, Prabhu? Yeah.
When the prasad is fuel is being fed in the tank of the stomach, I am not interacting with all these actions, I have nothing to do with all this, do you feel like that?
No, Prabhu. Sometimes I feel that we are. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not, this is a very elevated, lofty level of consciousness and it's at the level of self-realization. Okay, so yeah, what's the time? Let us see. I'm just unmuting you. Oh, it's time up. So we will stop here and we'll continue the discussion tomorrow. So any questions you have up till now? Any questions, any clarifications? One question is there. Okay, Navneet Kalra Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This level of understanding which we're talking about, that I'm not doing anything, senses are reacting with the sense object. To, when you start doing it, it's your intelligence only, because it's not natural to you, right? So
Come again,
your
what exactly you're trying to say? I'm not able to understand.
this discussion we're having right now, that if when I'm eating something, it's just my senses are interacting with the sense object and I'm not doing it. So this is an acquired knowledge, right? So I'm
This is
doing
realized
if
knowledge. This is realized knowledge.
yeah,
This is not the intelligence, the material intelligence, which is contaminated, and the material mind, where the mind is, overpowered the intelligence and the senses ultimately go to the sense objects. It is the purified intelligence, which is situated in the self. That intelligence, is, with that buddhi, adhyatma buddhi, he is able to understand that it's only sensory, and that's why he doesn't get entangled in it. He doesn't, get affected by it at all. We
but to begin this process, it has to be a mental exercise,
no, no, no,
or
no.
you
It is
don't
it
do
is not a
anything.
it is not a mental exercise. It is not. It comes with the purification of the antakara.
So it'll come automatically. Like
Yeah,
you don't have to endeavor for it.
no, well, we have to do the sadhana and
Yeah,
purify
that is the
Sarvapadi
bhakti process
Vinirmuktam
of.
Tat Paratvena Nilmalam. We have to do that sadhana. And when the Antakaran is purified and you're self-realized and you're no more, Yada Samado Achala Buddhi. The Buddhi is not having any trace of sense gratificatory, impulse, and it doesn't get even little wavered, and it is fixed in the self. Sthita Pragya, this is a level of Sthita Pragya stage. Self-realized
So
stage.
so my endeavor should be to just follow my sadhana right now,
Yes, follow the process of
and that,
bhakti, and
yeah, and that will come automatically with this
by
stage which we are talking
performing
about.
actions in Krishna consciousness and elevating our consciousness upper,
Yeah,
higher,
yeah.
and then, when the purification of the mind and the intelligence happens, specifically, that the antakaran is purified, and then that level, when you're,
That this stage
when,
would come.
at that stage, yes. So this is a verse which is speaking for a Atma Jnani, but it is also applicable for Bhakti Yogas. It has its
And
application for Bhakti Yogas also.
so right now, this knowledge should be taken at just to see what platform we are at, right?
Yes, we can understand what platform we are by this verse. We can understand. In fact, forget this is a very lofty platform. That's why we discussed, Bhakti Yoga at the level of Karma Yoga. How we begin Kama Sankalpa Varjita. But how do you test whether you're Kama Sankalpa Varjita when the phala come, whether you get affected?
Or not?
Ah,
Yeah.
you have to see in your consciousness. So if you're getting affected, then you have to understand very clearly.
That you're still in the
You're
raga
getting
dosha
caught in the dualities, you have,
dualities.
yeah. And Nishkam Bhavna ने अपने सेवा नहीं किया है. You had desires,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like simple, you do a backup service, and after performing the backup, you have done sincerely, but you have kept some prasad separately for yourself, and some other devotee comes and picks up. Then you'll wonder, where did my
If you
prasad?
don't get, yeah, if you
Where
don't
where
get
did the
angry, then
Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha,
be the, yeah.
taken away from you, we become angry. Krodha, Vita Kodha happens. So then that consciousness is still caught in dualities. So we have to transit